Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I am so excited to have on a 28-year-old from Saint-Basile-le-Grand, Quebec, Canada. His hockey journey has taken him to Canada, the USA, and to the Chocolatey Manchester Storm of England. Was raised as a puppy with Collège Antoine Girard, the Espoirs, and the Gallows. Then became a champion, winning the Napa Cup with Longueuil Collège Français, earning his way to the Q, where he became a staple and legend with Blainville Boisbriand Armada, and in his last season was a captain until they shipped his ass to Gatineau Olympique. He then set up shop with McGill University and was named team captain again, and for fun was most outstanding player in the championship. Confirmed gamer. Oh, and got to lace up for Team Canada somewhere. Then, just last season, dove into his rookie year of pro and threw up 29 points for the Wheeling Nailers, earning his way to the Chocolatey Manchester Storm, and is currently running amok with his fellow Shed guys, making my heart want to explode every time it storms. Welcome to the Shed, Samuel Tremblay.
Nice, thanks. Great introduction.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been practicing. This is episode 341. I get into how we know each other. Nice to meet you.
That's
So,
good.
with your history, I was wondering what the English was going to be like. Are you French or English?
Thanks. I'll take that. I'm French.
Yeah, well,
A little bit of an
yeah,
accent.
a little bit, but no, that's pretty solid English. I played with a bunch of French guys that their English wasn't that swell, you know?
Still struggling sometimes. I should be all right now.
Well, one of my questions was then locker rooms growing up around that area, you'd probably have a lot of mixtures of English and French, right?
Mostly, well, growing up it was mostly French, really.
Okay.
It was pretty much all French. It's pretty much up to junior. Junior I became like mostly English.
That's when you get guys from out east,
Yeah.
further out east, right? And all that stuff.
hmm
Okay. Anyways, getting into how we know each other is director of Shed Marketing, Jake, the most famous fan in the EIHL. He let me know how excited he was that out of nowhere, a Manchester Storm player thanked him for the chocolate, and he was pretty jacked up about it. So when a player does that for a kid and lets him know, and like I just love that stuff in hockey, and that's what made me want to have you on, you know?
Awesome. Yeah, man. I mean, getting free chocolate. People throw chocolate at me, and if my name's on it, that's even more sick. So I mean, it
Isn't it
was just
cool?
it's amazing.
It is amazing.
So uh, it's just natural. If somebody tries to hit me, I just look back and I'm like, hey, thanks, man.
Yeah. Well, from over here, I don't know if you guys realize how much fun it is for me because I was out of the game for like 5 years and then I start this. And then all of a sudden, like, I'm kind of like part of the Storm family this season and I was last season. And every game it seems to be getting bigger and better. And I love when things get carried away.
That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of candies or just chocolate bar in the room after the games.
So, cutting edge question in the shed. What is your favorite chocolate bar?
It's been asked a little bit before. I'm not too picky, but
People
anything
else
with
are asking
caramel.
you what your favorite chocolate bar is. This isn't just coming straight from Shed headquarters.
Yeah, exactly. You're not the first guy, unfortunately. But
I'm the one that
um,
started it, people. And
anything
Critch,
with
my
caramel is
player.
awesome.
Anything with caramel, eh?
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Like caramel bars. They got those over there. I
What is
don't
it?
even caramel.
They have like a knockoff version, but
Right, that's what we got over here, eh?
yeah.
Okay. Well, so something caramel, caramel, folks, get involved, right? Fun is fun. But isn't it cool that you guys got to earn it? You guys have to win, or nothing gets thrown. I think it's great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it's good
Yeah.
tradition.
It is a good tradition. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. And fun fact, in Denmark, with the Herning Blue Foxes, when they win, they throw Twix at their goalie. And they even started, just thinking out loud, Manchester, they started selling chocolate in their lobby. They got a cutout poster of the goalie and they sell Twix out of his caboose.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. And that started in Cardiff, my old honey hole. And we've just had so much fun here in the shed, you know? And Cardiff, I'm not trying to exclude you guys. I want Kit Kats for Mosey, and I just want everybody to get involved. But I actually other ways we know each other is well, I haven't talked to anybody in the UK for a while. Didn't really want to. I started this to have fun. Nothing about hockey was been fun over there. So I didn't really want to talk to anybody. I'm ready again, and for your team, I've noticed you guys have had to play some like big games. I don't mean for the 2 points. I mean big games and getting hockey back on track, getting the league back on track. You played the first game of the Steelers returning and Nottingham. It's
Yeah.
probably been a lot for everybody, eh?
Yeah. I can't speak for everybody. I think just for myself, it was quite emotional, obviously, what happened. But at 28, there's less years in me than I had before. So obviously, when you think about what happened, it could have happened. It could have happened to anybody. Like
Yep.
it's not
Yep.
like Adam was a bad player, so he I won't get too much into the details of everything because
Yeah.
anyway, everybody talks about it a lot on Twitter. But anyway, like it could just have happened to anybody. So I just
Absolutely. Yeah. And
feel
it's
super
brutal.
lucky that, in college, after a face off, kind of fell forward and the guy in front of me just turned around and started skating and I got a skate right to the throat as well. So it's
Um,
very stuff is like that is scary. And
it,
I
it
was lucky,
is.
but I
It
had a
is.
little like a decent scar in my neck, but um
Yeah.
yeah,
It yeah, I think it'll change the game.
I think so
Obviously they're
too.
bringing in neck guards and whatnot, but my history with skates and that is when I was in Denmark, I tried to spin a Rooney on a D-man and he gave me like the cross check in the low pants. I was going fast on like coming into the zone and it took my legs out and I went crashing into the boards and my own right leg, my heel, cut my left leg and I felt it happen and my leg felt warm and I just went to the bench and then I didn't have another shift and I could feel it was like warm. And then we went into a shootout and I was supposed to shoot last. I never did have to shoot and I wouldn't have been able to once I went out to like say, way to go goalie, you sucked. We lost the game. Um, but I never shot. And then when I went out on the ice, I realized like something was wrong. So then we go into the room and we've lost it to a bad team. And the coach comes in to start giving everybody shit. And I just pulled my sock down to see what was up. And it had like cut my leg open like wide open where I could see everything in my leg. And it was disgusting. And I was lucky that it didn't catch the wrong thing in my leg and like to think of that yeah, it's scary shit. And I just one thing I'd have to say is like I'm really proud of the players, you guys on your team, the Steelers, Nottingham, like the way the league, the way everybody's the fans, the whole hockey community in the UK, like the way most everybody has stuck together and done it right and tried to help each other get through it and get back on track. I'm proud of the UK hockey community.
Yeah, me too, to be fair. It's I wasn't, obviously it's my first year here. So I didn't know much about the fans, the culture of hockey and everything like that, but everything was done with a lot of class, a lot of respect, and it was just great to see the whole hockey community come together on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And it's great everybody's back playing and the players are
Hmm.
getting to do what we love and what our passion is. I mean, we're hockey guys. That's what we've been our whole life, right? It's what we do.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, moving on. Manchester Storm fellas I've had on. Have you tried a Carl Fager chocolate bar from Finland? Because they're getting thrown to Santo.
I think he keeps it for himself because I haven't had a bite of it.
Is that right? You haven't got to try one bite of Finnish chocolate, eh?
Nope,
Mm.
unfortunately.
Next storm fella I'm having on is Andreas Heyer, and I've never heard what kind of chocolates in Norway. Might be something cool there too, right? Maybe he'll
I
share
bet,
with you.
yeah,
Come on, Santo, be better, right? Share.
probably.
Sharing is
Yeah.
caring, right? I think it's pretty neat though that fans will import chocolate from Finland to Manchester to throw on the ice because of us shooting the shit in my shed, you know?
That's unreal. To be
Really is.
honest, it
It
is
really
super cool.
is. Yeah. And another guy that I've obviously had on who started the Chocolate Storm, your captain and the player I sponsor. He's quite the cat, isn't he?
Oh yeah, what a guy.
Yeah. What a leader, eh?
Yeah, he's really good. He's really good.
He mucks
Chris
it
and I
up, he
get along.
fights, he scores,
Uh-huh.
he entertains the crowd. What yeah, love it.
What a guy.
Yeah. I guess I sponsored the right guy this season, eh, folks?
You did. You did. He's been real proud of rocking that sponsorship in his jersey.
I think it's every time I see it, it's just funnier and funnier. And now I get pictures from fans in other arenas saying, I spy a shed guy. They send me pictures of him with the logo. It's so funny.
Yeah, that's good.
Makes the world feel not so big though, you know? And
Uh-huh.
your goalie's been having a heck of a season so far, eh, Wenny? What a dandy he is too.
Yeah, not gonna lie, in preseason I was a little stressed, but
That's just
little
preseason, folks.
stressed.
We're just getting used to it.
Yeah. A little stressed with Winnie, but no, as soon as season started, he was lights out, man. This guy's so good.
Yeah.
So
Um,
good. What a guy.
Yeah, I'm like chatting with him. Like, there's some goalies that are pretty strange out there in the world. Like, he's like, he's like, he's a cool dude and a goalie.
Yeah, surprisingly, I'm still trying to figure out what's weird about him.
Right. I know.
Bit of a gamer, but that's not too weird. But
No.
otherwise, pretty normal.
Yeah. Eh, that can be good, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Normal goalies. Who would have thunk, right? I've also had on Martin, Heinem, and the Moose, Coral, you know?
The
You guys got a
Moose,
lot of shed guys on your squad.
not bad.
Yeah. But you guys have had a pretty strong start to the season in the league, eh?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. I think our record in Challenge Cup has been not as great, but
Have you
yeah, I
gotten
think
used to
this.
that where you play a game and you're like, so this is for what? And this is for what? And you're like, huh? Because when I got over there, man, I was like, let's just go out and play. And like people are telling me it's one's this and one's that. And I'm like, whatever, let's go.
Yeah, it's a little strange. It's a little strange. We don't have that in North America, which I mean, I don't mind, but at the same time, it's just weird how the you can play a sick game, which could not mean as much as the other. So it's weird how it works, but yeah,
It
we'll
is
do
weird how it works. And the
it.
part I find strange is when I was over there on like when the research team would get hot, all those points were combined on your total. So like for my season, it looked like I had a lot more points. And then all of a sudden they separated them and then you get challenge cup points or you get league points as a player. And then all of a sudden my league didn't look as good, right? But won the challenge cup scoring title, no big deal. And the championship.
Not
But you know what I
bad.
mean? Like it's weird that you go out there and score 5 points and then it just doesn't show up on like the actual stats. Just the challenge cup stats, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I guess it's the thing I was about to say soccer. I don't want to disrespect here, but football.
Football, yeah.
Yeah, football.
You ever thought like why people got on boats and came to North America and were like, you know what? Let's mess with everybody. Let's stop calling it football just because they use their feet to kick a ball. Why don't we call it soccer? And then we'll call some other sport that doesn't really kick balls very often at all, and we'll call that one football. Makes no sense,
America.
right? They come over and just got to switch things up, right?
Because why not?
Right. And it's like, yeah, they took the game of rugby where you can only pass it backwards. Like, actually, we're going to throw it forwards and then you can throw it backwards. Anywho, curious question because I didn't really get into the details. I saw the one game, it was with Nottingham, I think. It ended 4-4.
Yeah.
How does it end 4-4? I thought like games end with like a shootout or something. Was that on purpose?
It was just an exhibition for the memorial game for Adam Johnson.
Oh,
So
okay.
it wasn't like counting towards the league stats and stuff like that. So it was just like
Oh, I didn't know that.
some people wanted like on the bench, everybody was kind of looking at each other, but I wouldn't mind going for overtime, whatever. But it kind of ended on like a decent note. So
Yeah,
it was good enough.
everybody wins. That yeah. No, I just wasn't sure how that happened. Okay.
Yeah.
And fun fact that I keep forgetting to tell people about, if anybody's listening, I do have a jersey for raffle at aleshockeytales.com. It's a two Ales and Hockey Tales jersey, I guess with my name and number on it. Not sure if anybody would want that, but it is up for raffle. You can buy tickets. There's like 2 weeks left, and we're trying to raise money for a good cause. So please buy your tickets. And if you want a jersey, that's a cheap way to win it, right?
And was that good cause?
The Manchester Storm
Oh.
IOU bill. uh, Getting your logo on a guy's jersey actually isn't free. So I don't make money doing this. I do it just for fun, but I have to raise enough funds to pay my bill. So get involved, folks. Maybe
Fair
buy one
enough.
less chocolate bar, buy a ticket for the jersey. It's all going to the same cause.
Awesome.
So where and what are you doing now? I guess you're in Manchester. You got a roommate?
Mm-hmm. Murphy.
Murphy. I hear
Yeah,
good
Matt
things of that
Murphy.
guy. You guys getting along? Is he cleaning up his dishes? Cleaning the toilet when he's
Yeah.
done?
Yep.
Did you know him before? Did
What's
you?
that? You cut?
Oh yeah, you cut out too. Did you know him before?
No, but I knew him by name. We played a bit against each other in the queue. And then he pretty much went on to win anything in the queue and then at UNB. So yeah, know him a lot just by name, but
Yeah, I hear he's a good dude and player. Geez, I need to find more time in my days to get even through your whole squad of shed guys this year. And then, like Cardiff, I'm sorry, I haven't had time to visit in a while and chat with any shed guys, right?
well, that's too bad.
It is too bad, you know. Anyways, you guys play a Scottish triple header this weekend. When I
Yep.
asked you if you could do it today, because it is American Thanksgiving, so my real world is slow today, which works out well for this. You're going on a Scottish triple header. I thought you might be on a bus today going there.
Nope. We're back with the game day road trip. So
So
yeah,
how far
not
you got a
the
bus tomorrow? When do you got to leave?
um not even sure yet. Schedule's still not out, so probably gonna leave at what, noon, Murph? I think it is at noon. So around
Ah,
noon.
Murph's right there. Tell him he's got
Yeah,
to
he's
come to
right
the
around the
shed
corner.
soon, eh?
Yeah.
Anywho, yeah, my memory of the Scottish triple header is, well, Cardiff Devils fans have a thing called Dundee Drunk. Their fan bus, when they go to Dundee, they get absolutely totaled. It's pretty fun, especially when they take your parents on that bus trip.
Oh my God, yeah, I
Yeah,
bet.
yeah.
Actually, my parents are in town, so they're gonna be there and for the first two games, and then they come back on the third game.
I
Go
don't.
back home.
Do you guys go to Dundee this weekend? Are your
Yeah,
parents gonna get Dundee
Dundee.
drunk?
Yeah, they might be a little, not probably not as much as in that bus, but they're gonna be around, yeah.
Yeah, those Cardiff Devils fan buses, man, they were electric. When my parents came over, they went on that Scottish trip with them, and they made memories for life. And it's one of their favorite stories to tell people. I've heard it numerous times since. But then I also, fun fact, went on the fan bus with the fans when I was injured and my career was over, and did her upright too. And then I actually was just going to do the pregame speeches, and I would surprise the guys and show up with the fans, and then hide from all the players until it was time, and then I would come into the room spray painted as like superheroes naked and do a pregame speech. that's that's anywho. The other Scottish triple header memory I have was my daughter was born on the Wednesday, and then I had to fly to the Scottish triple header the day of the game on the Friday, and then play 3 games in 3 nights. And daughter was fresh. I was looking forward to like spending time, but instead I went to Scotland to play 3 games.
Tough. That's tough. My God,
Oh,
dedicated here.
yeah. So how have been your first few months in Manchester? What are you doing for fun around there?
It's been actually pretty cool. Just visiting around. It's my first time here in England, so just been visiting some castle. Been in Manchester City Center, um, trying restaurants, stuff like that. My girlfriend's here, so yeah, it's just been a lot of fun so far.
So you find any great restaurants yet?
Anything around is pretty good. Where did we go in can't remember those names actually. Everything that we went to was pretty good, to be
Yeah,
fair
and
there.
Manchester's gonna have a lot of options, eh? That's like a
Yeah,
ski city.
yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
really good.
I just watched the Beckham documentary thing and I was thinking like, geez, that's the same city that like throws chocolate on the ice from the shed, right? Pretty neat. So, you grew up in Saint Basile Le Grand, Quebec?
Not bad.
Not bad, eh? How big's that
Yeah.
town?
Oh, that's a great question. 2000s.
Yeah, like it's
It's not
not
that
big,
big.
not big.
No, it's on the South Shore of Montreal. Maybe like 20 minutes away from Montreal.
Oh, okay. So you're close
Kind of
to all the
growing
action
still.
then.
Sorry.
You're close to all the action then if you're only 20 minutes
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
I got you. Well, yeah, I had written down French or English, but we did that. So poster picks brought to you by Freeman Designs. Well, the one poster pick of you and Alex O'Dale picking up your chocolate after a game. That young buck looked pretty happy to be picking up chocolate, didn't he?
Yeah. Like especially the first time, I think the first time they threw chocolate on the ice, I had the big Toblerone.
Oh
I
yeah,
saw that on the ice.
you got
That's
that.
mine. Yep,
Yeah,
yeah. Don't show that
that's an
to anybody.
expensive candy bar somebody's throwing, right? Those aren't
It
cheap.
is. I know. That's why I was like,
Have
I'm
you
taking
ever
that.
like thought of like all the chocolate that's hitting the ice, like how much money that costs people?
Seriously. I know.
It's crazy.
I know.
But you know what? There's only so many games in the season, right? And if we're gonna make it rain, we better make it rain.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, when I see that, like your last game there, you guys beat Belfast at home, eh? That's a big win.
Yeah, that was a solid one from the boys.
Yeah. Winning big games is fun. I miss doing that. Now I get to do it as a coach, though. I'm coaching under 13 boys. It's really fun. We
Oh,
got a
that's cool.
squad too. Yeah. So next poster pick. You're with like the Lieutenant Governor of Quebec getting a medal. What is that about?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It's called the bronze medal of the lieutenant governor. And you get nominated. Every year there's people from all around Quebec. And it's with your university, they nominate some people that they think they're deserving. And I just kind of applied and I got chosen for it. So
Well,
it
that's
was a
cool.
pretty sweet moment. Yeah, for my involvement with the school community and like my dedication to sport and stuff like that. So
So what all were you doing in the community? What were you get anything going?
um yeah, we did. Well, over my 6 years at McGill, I did a lot of stuff with first of all with motion ball. It helped to raise money for Motion Ball Canada, so the Special Olympics. So we just had a whole day at McGill, and during the whole year we were doing a bunch of activities to raise money towards that. And then with the men's hockey team, we did raise some money for the Black youth hockey community in Nova Scotia. So we did a bunch of interviews with some Black hockey players or from other ethnicities, just to raise awareness, see how they managed to play hockey when they were young and stuff like that. So raise money for that, and then to try to pay for their gear over there in Nova Scotia for that community who don't have enough money to pay for their stuff or coaches and stuff like that.
Well, it
Um,
is crazy how expensive it is, man. And there's got to be a lot of people out there that want to play hockey and they just can't because, man, my
Absolutely.
bank account has been feeling it. This minor hockey shit is way too expensive, man. Like,
Mhm.
we're in 3 hotel tournaments. You got to pay for the hotel. You got to drive there. You got to pay for the tournament. You got to pay for all the meals. And then all the kids want to do fun stuff, which also costs money. And it's like,
Mhm.
holy moly. Like, and then you leave there after the weekend. You're like, well, that was a memory for life and fun, but holy moly, did that cost a lot?
Yeah, I know, I know. No, I've been so fortunate with my family to have been able to do all this stuff, but I know like a lot of people absolutely love hockey, but they can't afford it because it's just like too expensive
Yeah, yeah,
or
it's
not accessible. So that's kind of like that's some of the things that I've been apart, but
well, good for you,
yeah.
man. That's as a college student to like be a grown up and do shit like that. That's cool. I I would say I didn't do enough of that stuff as I was a player, but I feel like I'm making up for it now. I got sent a video of the fella. So I raised money for Rich Bateman, a Sheffield Steelers fan who had a massive stroke. And we raised some money doing like jersey raffles and whatever. And it wasn't much. But then a fella Shed fan that listened to it and got inspired by it said, I'm going to bike 600 kilometers from where he had the strokes, closest arena, to Cardiff, then to Sheffield, and show up for the first preseason game on his bike with another fellow that volunteered to do it with him. And they did that. And then we just raffled off a Steelers signed t-shirt. And with what he raised and myself, he said yesterday we raised 3,200 pounds. That's pretty cool.
That's unreal. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Go Shed family, right?
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, that it's pretty cool when you can see a guy, anybody at a hockey arena wearing a 2 Ales and Hockey Tales jersey. So folks, if you want to win one, aleshockeytales.com, right? And if you do have one, send me photos because it makes me hot and bothered, right? Okay. Yeah, makes sense. You're the captain of McGill, but you were named the captain of McGill University. That must have been a special day, eh? That's next poster pick. I saw the C on your jersey. Are you cut out again? You're right, frozen.
Yeah,
There you are.
it was a pretty sweet moment. A lot of big back there.
Uh-huh.
You hear me well?
Yeah. We're fighting it.
Okay.
We're fighting the bandwidth.
Yeah, so many big names that have been there for me, and it's just a rich history as well. So it's pretty big honor. Yeah.
Well, I may as well ask this now, though.
You did cut out now.
Holy moly, hold the phone. And we're back. But I did see you were with McGill for 6 seasons. It's a lot of seasons.
Yeah. So I did my my undergrad in kinesiology. So it was technically for 3 years, but I entered in the physical education, and then I switched. So basically, a total of 4 years. And then I decided to do my master's in biomechanics, and that's two extra years. So yeah, 6 in total, which ended up being
like of the body.
Yeah. So think about the mechanics of the body, yeah, pretty much. And it was cool because I was doing research in hockey, so
so you'd probably be able to find out all the flaws in my body, eh? There's a lot of mechanics that aren't working well anymore. We had a 3-on-3 tournament with my under 13 team, just internally made 3 teams up. I made a trophy, and we needed one more goalie for the third team. So I strapped on the pads, and this guy's goalie equipment that was like 6'3", and none of it fit. And man, I went out there and worked hard and won a championship, no big deal. And got a shutout first game against my little punks. And I tell you, I was like Bill Ranford, but like no skill and all heart. I was just kick saves. And then once I went down, I couldn't get up. It was wild. But I have been hurting ever since. My biomechanics have not been working since.
Made it work.
Yeah, we got through it. Well, that's cool that you got all that education before you jumped into pro. So a lot of other guys that are not very prepared when hockey comes to an end.
Yeah, I think in the back of my mind, it kind of a little bit of anxiety is raising from that. So I just always, since the NHL dream was kind of done, I was like, all right, I need to figure out life here. But I also absolutely love playing hockey, and I just figured out how to be good at hockey and also being very busy with school. So right now, when I don't have anything to do, I'm just super bored. So I always kind of need to do something.
Well, and it makes sense. I was bored a lot as a pro hockey player, and I would crush Netflix or whatever shows, like go through a whole series, and like that is not very productive for a guy. Like, there's so many other things you can do to better yourself while you're a hockey player for the future, right?
Yeah, like think about all the hours that we're not playing hockey or training. There's a lot of them, so might as well put them to good use. Yeah.
Sound like you're way too grown up. How old are you? 28. So next poster pick, you're playing for Team Canada. That's got to be special.
Yeah, that was cool. Definitely not competing with the real Team Canada that we see at the Olympics, but
None of us are.
this was this is just like a
Those guys
tournament.
don't come to the shed.
No, but no, it was just a nice tournament that was organized to play in Australia.
Really?
So I was there this summer for like 12 days. We played against guys from the US. But then in each team there were guys from that played in that league in Australia that were just split in our teams and stuff like that. So it was just to promote hockey over there.
And they do have a
Great
league over
experience.
there. Yeah, I've talked to quite a
Yeah,
few guys
yeah.
that have gone over there, and pretty well every one of them ate kangaroo. Did you eat kangaroo while you were there?
It's disgusting.
You did it?
It's disgusting. I
Well,
I
I
couldn't
look at
finish my
them and they're
bite.
way too cute to be eating. Even
That
if,
too.
right? Like, I don't know. It
But
was
yeah, it
disgusting. Did
was
you have it like, I've heard there's burgers of it, then I hear there's like just straight up kangaroo
yeah,
neck.
it was just straight up kangaroo and it was not great.
Mm,
Don't recommend it. Leave
yeah.
it be.
No, I don't mind trying new food, but that's one I just don't really feel like I want to try.
Yeah,
Mm.
don't recommend it.
Next poster pick. This is like a hockey photo. You're taking a slap shot. The rink's got dimmed lights. You're
Oh yeah.
like right under the spotlight, taking a clap bomb. That's hockey, eh?
Oh yeah. No, photo shoot. Don't remember when. I think it was my fifth or sixth. I don't remember.
It looked
Well,
like you were really throwing your tits into that slap shot.
actually, I had my shoulder was still separated. I didn't have surgery yet, so yeah, it was kind of
Is
not a great
that why
idea,
you
but
didn't play any games there then?
yeah. So basically, what happened during the that would be my sixth year in college. Yeah, I didn't play because I tore my shoulder apart, my labrum, and then I got surgery, so I didn't play at all. And the one before it was COVID, so two
Yeah.
years, no
Two
games.
2 years no games, eh? And well, I'll just keep jumping around then. So you did go 2 years no games,
Yeah.
but you're the captain of the team. That's gotta be hard on the team to not have their captain. But I guess COVID nobody played, which was tough time for a lot of Canadian university guys and like
Hmm.
all over hockey where I know there's a bunch of guys playing Canadian University that they're like, well, what do I do? I'm a hockey player. I want to play hockey. And some guys left school to like join the coast, right? And then like you're leaving school and it's like, well, school's pretty important too, but I understand you want to play hockey.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of people were kind of just like in the middle of a decision right there. And for me, I knew it wasn't that bad because the original plan, you can only play 5 years in college. And my fifth year was basically the year of COVID. So I was like,
Why
all
you
right,
got your
well, that kind of
sixth.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I got my sixth in and I just finished in time with hockey. So it kind of ended up working well. Because the opposite, not having COVID, I would have been my sixth year in school, but not being able to play for the team. So I don't know what I would have done, but
Right.
kind of ended up like that.
So it worked
Anyway,
out
I
for
did
you in
play
that you
both.
got your school done though, right?
Yeah, but anyway, I didn't play both years, so
Right. Well, and we'll get into that, but like I know it was a tough time for a lot of guys like that were I guess about my age or a bit younger, like when hockey was paused, it's like, well, am I done? Like, how long is this going? Do I retire and join the real world? And man, I think there's a bunch of guys that may still be playing if there wouldn't have been that break. You
yeah,
know?
probably. That time was crazy. Like
Yeah.
all the curfews and stuff like that. They were shutting down like the ODR at like 8 p.m. and stuff, just closing all the lights. There was no nets and stuff. We
There
were
was
running
there was a day I went to the beach for a walk with my kids, and we're talking like it's just down the road here. There's nobody on the beach. And some guy from the township comes and says, you can't walk on the beach. And I'm like, why? Like, what's gonna happen? There's nobody here. Like, seriously? Grow up, Peter Pan, you know? Well, it was weird, man. Yeah, we don't even need to talk about it. It was so
Yeah,
silly.
yeah, it was.
It was. Next poster pick. You're fighting a big fella.
Oof, yeah. Not a great idea at the time, but ended up
Mhm.
working well for me.
Really? Yeah, it looked like you mucked her up pretty good there, eh?
Yeah, I didn't last long, but I kind of ragdolled him, and
Really?
yeah, he's
Do you get
he's a
into
big
that
fella.
often?
When I have to, I kind of just like see dark and I just go, but it's not a great idea because I only fought like fighters, so it's and I'm
Mhm.
not a fighter. I know how to defend myself, but I'd rather not.
Right. I
Yeah.
only dabbled into it a few times and it never went well for me. You know,
Oh,
these little tiny hands didn't have much to bring to the table. But I gave her my best shot every time.
that's all you can
So,
ask
and
for.
that was with the Wheeling Nailers, eh?
The nailers.
That wasn't in the Wheeling Nailers arena though. It looked too bright in that arena.
The magic of photography. No, it was in Wheeling, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I've been to that barn. Is it still the same barn I would have played in way back in like 2006 ish?
Maybe. Potentially, yeah, most likely. The
I,
Banco?
I don't know what it was called. It was a
The
barn though.
West Banco. It's a nice barn to be fair, yeah.
Yeah, well, the
Yeah.
one I played in, it was like an old school. It was a barn. But the part I remember playing Wheeling was Biz was on their team when I was in the coast,
Really?
and oh man, I like it when I try to think of memories of playing Wheeling. That's all I can think about because he was so entertaining on the ice that like I I was just in awe that like he would be challenging our biggest guys. He was their horse on D. He was running the power play. He'd fight anybody and then he would ridicule our top scorer Yannick Tifu. He would like be doing whatever he wanted and saying, "Well, who's gonna come at me? What are you guys gonna do about it?" And he'd started in warm up, and I would just skate around giggling like this guy is something else.
Yeah, I heard some stories about him. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing what that guy's done with being himself and just doing it right. Like,
He's good. He's good, great entertainer.
yeah, he is, and
Good
he
at this
was an
stuff.
East Coast man. He was the entertaining guy on the ice because I was entertained and I was playing against him.
Man, there's a bunch of entertaining guys in the coast. Whew.
Yeah, the coast is something else, isn't it?
Oh yeah, they don't call it the jungle for no reason.
And is I don't know even what the coast is like now because when I went to the AHL out of school, there was absolute monsters. Like I'm talking almost freaks of how big and strong these guys were, and those were like my line mates on the fourth line. But like I don't think the AHL has many of those guys now, and I think the coast does, right?
Yeah, there's a few big boys, but it's I guess it's just the Wild West over there. Like sometimes refs aren't much better than here in the UK, so it's like just a whack fest sometimes, or it's just everybody's fighting or a bunch of like guys running around like idiots, and you at one point I'm fearing more for my body than anything else. Like I'm like, okay, this is just stupid.
Ugh.
That's kind of one of the reason why I'm not that league anymore.
Yeah, man.
I
I played
kind of
one
want
year.
to have my brain. I want to use my brain later in my life. So
I agree. I played one year in the coast and a tiny bit in the A. Not much ice time there, but like we went all the way to the finals, and by the end of that season, man, my body was broken, like completely
oh yeah.
shattered. I 102 hockey games that year, all the bus
Oof.
trips and whatever, and like come the end of it, man, like I was ruined.
102.
Yeah, like between preseason, regular season, AHL East Coast, and the playoffs, it was 102 games that year.
That's ridiculous. That's like what, 8 months of your life you played that.
And it
My
was
God,
it
do you
was a
realize?
lot. It was a lot.
I don't
And
know how
then
you did it.
well, and then like the next season's coming. You only got 2 months, and you're like, so I'm supposed. You want me to do what now? You want me to gain 10 pounds of muscle, and you want me to do this and that? And I'm like, well, I can hardly lift a weight here because my body's ruined. It's like it's gonna take me a month to get back on track.
Yeah, and then they give you peanuts as a salary. So yeah, good luck
Also,
with that.
also correct. Yeah. Is it worth it, folks, or should you go to Europe? Right.
Oh my.
So next poster pick, you're celebrating a goal with the Storm. You're giving a guy like a chest bump there on the glass, but you got some sweet flow to the back of your helmet, eh?
That's why I sent that to you. This one's funny. Yeah, I had a good chuckle when I when I saw that picture.
Yeah, good
Yeah, I think
flow.
I let it grow for like I'm in my second year now. Yeah, 2 years now.
Yeah,
I had
it
a few
looks
cuts in
good
there
out of
because
there.
it was getting ridiculous. I had to cut it a little bit.
No,
It's not as long now.
I
No,
like
you can
that.
see it. It's not
Yeah,
as
no,
long
it's
though.
good. I like that. Um, well, let's see. Poster picks. Do I have anything else? I don't think I do. Yes, I do. I had your folks already came over, but they're there now.
My dad and his
And you
partner.
made
So
time for the shed. That just warms my heart.
yeah, they're in Scotland now. So
They're doing some
earlier
touring
this week.
around, and then you'll see them up there.
Yeah, exactly. So they rented a car. Now they've been in Manchester a little bit around and dining and stuff like that, drinking, obviously. You guys
Yeah.
know how these guys know how to drink here, so.
Well, yeah, they sure do in the UK, man. I went back to Cardiff in the summer for my buddy's testimonial, and like, there's a wonderful drinking culture in the UK. Like, they really
It's
know how to get
pretty,
after it.
yeah, it's pretty amazing. I
It's
thought
weird.
Canadians knew how to drink, but these
Not
guys know how
not
to as
even
well.
close, man. I Canadians used to. Now it's way too expensive, man. You go to a restaurant and a beer is way too much money. You can't do nothing. Like, just to buy a case of beer, it's too much money to have as much fun as we used to.
Yeah,
But what I always say is having your parents come over, you getting a job overseas, and like those are memories for life, right? Like your parents probably wouldn't have gone, or your dad and his partner probably wouldn't have gone to Manchester and to Scotland unless you're there, right?
yeah, exactly. No, it just brings so much more opportunities for even family, but also for myself. But no, it's amazing. I haven't seen them for a long time. Like I saw them this past summer for like 2 weeks barely. And then it was just like all the way before the wheeling season. So it was good seeing them again.
Yeah, it's hard for me to hear as a dad because like, yeah, my kid can play, and like I'm with him every day, taking him to every practice, every game, coaching him, and to think of that coming, the days where he's gone playing hockey, that'll
Yeah.
be brutal.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think, we almost talk every day.
Right.
So that's the kind of relationship I have with him. And
It helps with
he's
FaceTime and all that shit nowadays too, though, right?
oh yeah, definitely. So it's somewhat easy. Um, but yeah, it just at the same time it brings other opportunities and life
But
life
yeah,
kind of
it's
goes
like
on
you,
and it's a different like relationship that I have with my dad. He, him and I were exactly the same probably as you are with your kids. So
yeah,
it just grows like that and eventually
yeah.
it's pretty cool like that anyway right now.
Same with my parents. Like I go to Western Michigan, they were there every weekend trying to watch, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's I guess it is kind of like a bird, right? At the nest, you raise them in the nest, and then you gotta let them fly, even if you want to keep them in the nest.
Great analogy.
Thank you. See, thinking out loud of the shed, I guess. So let's see here. How long are they there for? After the Scotland trip, then they'll probably be heading
Yeah,
back.
yeah, exactly. So they won't be there Sunday because they're driving back to Birmingham. Just kind of like a little bit more than midway through London, and then flying back. I think Monday.
Well, they'll even get to see some barns too, eh? Which teams
Yep.
do you play Friday, Saturday?
Dundee, Fife, and then Glasgow, but they
Oh,
won't
they're
see
gonna
Glasgow.
love the Fife barn. That one's wild. Yeah.
Never been yet.
It's a barn, and I like that they come out in the kilts and the bagpipes, and it's a full go before the game. And like when they play the song with the bagpipes, and you're standing on the blue
Yeah,
line, you get some chills, and you're like, yeah, let's play some hockey.
yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Minor hockey. First team the research team finds is Collège Antoine Girard. The Espoirs were double A and the
Go. This one we kind of need to work on that.
Gualois,
Gaulois, yeah.
triple A. So that's
Mhm.
like one organization that's got two teams.
It's no, it's like a midget triple A. So
Yeah,
at 15, 16, just before the
the
junior, so the
draft.
Q for me. Yeah, so then midget triple A is the bigger league, and then midget espoir is like just 15 years old.
Mhm.
So it's just a league. Well, I'm not sure how it works now. I'm not sure this league is still there anymore. But back in my day, it was just like called like a development league a little bit. And it was just 15 years olds only.
Right.
So if you're just like on the verge of being good enough to be in midget AAA, where it's mostly 16 and 17 years old. Um, but then, they kind of wanted you to develop in that league. So it's just 15 years old. So it's kind of a good league to prepare you for midget AAA and then to get drafted
Yeah.
like for a 17-year in junior. Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of like what I got cooking here with my fella is like we're in a tiny town, and to go AAA is a lot of driving. Like, I mean, a lot of
Yeah,
driving.
and even
And
more money. So
well, way more, like way more. Like, yeah, like it'll be crazy, but like
hmm
I'll have to do it at some point here. But yeah, making that decision is when to do it. But you'll have to do it a year or two before the draft, right? So then they can get themselves out there and show their shit. But when I go through, when the research team gets hot, I haven't had many French guys on. I don't think. Now that I think about it, couple, Sebastian Charpentier. But anyways, he'd be way the hell older than you because he's older than me. But I didn't know that many guys on your teams. Like just hadn't crossed paths with many of them. But I do have a photo with one of your former teammates and my son after a New York Islanders game. He only played 9 games with you. Must have been a call up. Anthony Beauvillier.
yeah, yeah, good dude.
He's a little
Know his
buzzsaw out
family.
there, isn't he?
Oh yeah, so good. Well, I played with his older brother, Frank, when we were Pee-wee, so that's a long time ago. But
Mm-hmm.
no, we kind of just been playing a little bit together, but also a lot against the junior. This guy was lights out. It was so good.
Yeah.
Like one of the best shot I've seen. This guy was.
And he gives her like he
Oh
skates.
yeah,
He skates fast. He works hard.
yeah,
He mucks it up, and he's not
yeah,
that
yeah,
big.
yeah.
Yeah,
hmm
and he wears number 18, like those jerseys back there.
hmm
But yeah, I went to an Islanders game. I knew a fella on the squad. He never actually, or no, he was there, and then all the players come up to see their family and friends after the game. And he was there, and we got a photo together, and it makes it a small world. But another guy you played with, who is now in Nashville,
Oh
Carrier.
yeah, yeah.
So my boy Ryan O'Reilly's there. So if you ask Carrier about Ryan O'Reilly, I bet you he's gonna rave about him because I do.
Well, Alex been my God. I played also with him in Gatineau, just a little stint that I had there, but
Research team found that too.
yeah,
We were hot.
great hockey player. This guy is just so good everywhere on the ice, yeah. And also a great human being, so
Oh, that's
had to
good.
spend a little got to spend a little bit more time with him, so
It's good when the great human beings are the guys that make the NHL, right?
yep.
So then after that minor hockey, you go to Longueuil Collège Français.
Longueuil, also that you could work on, but you know, that's
Longueuil.
fine. Yeah,
Mm.
it's
My
not made
German's
for
better than
English
my
speaking.
French now. You know, I was a French
Yeah.
immersion till after grade 9. And then they told me I was going to have to take history and French. And I'm like, well, I'm usually good at school, but I can't do that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful for English speaking people. Yeah. Longueuil it's called, but
Mm,
it won't be too hard on you.
that's okay. Well, once I learned German, man, then all my French was gone. Every time I try to think of a French word, German pops out, you know? But what team's that? And what's the Napa Cup? Because you became a champion that year.
Yeah, so that's in just below the Q, basically,
Yep.
junior AAA, and that league's still there. I think it's like junior A
Yeah.
in Ontario in the
And you guys
West.
won it?
Yeah, so we won the cup, yeah, that year. So was my rookie year. That was pretty cool.
The league's pretty
Um,
fun, isn't it?
oh yeah, so fun.
Hmm.
And then we went to guys got absolutely blasted after that win. And then
I
there's three
understand.
cups in that league, yeah. So you got your own league, and then you got the Eastern Canada Cup, and then you get the whole Canada Cup. So that we only got to the second cup, but the guys were probably still drunk.
Right, because they got
So
after it a bit too much.
yeah, so we didn't win much there, and then we were out first. So,
People
so that was
have
that.
historically have blamed us winning the Challenge Cup in 2014-15 on us not winning the league because after we won the Challenge Cup against Sheffield 2-1 in their barn, the next league game was in Sheffield and we lost 11-1.
Oof.
The
Yeah, I
same
wonder
that
what
same
happened.
week. Yeah,
I
I'm not
really
sure.
wonder.
I know I think I was even and I was professional. I was ready to play. I don't know about the rest of them. Maybe they can't handle their alcohol. But there's a lot of games in the season, and the way I look at it is you beat that team in the Challenge Cup final, they're going to be way amped up for the next game. And you guys, that's kind of hockey, right? We were probably going to lose that game, whether it was 1-0 or 11-1, right? Our bad.
Oh yeah,
Whoops.
in their barn as well. Wow.
But the thing is like you only win so many times. I mean, every time I did it, I floored it.
Bet you had a nice little bonus too, huh?
I don't even remember. Honestly, I remember
I
having a
wish you
great
did.
time. Yeah, maybe we had a bonus. I don't even remember. So after that season, then you got put out then after the first cup, but the boys had a time. That's good. So then you
Yep.
get drafted and you spent, you played a playoff game the year before.
Hmm. Do you remember? You might remember that in I think it's in 2012, when in playoffs that same year. I'm still in junior AAA there with Longueuil, and there's an absolute like a full-on brawl after a game between Blainville, the Armada, and the Bécamo Drakkar.
I
Full-on brawl. Go look at that. It's madness.
like like bench clearing.
Like bench clearing. So it's right after the game. The game is done. Like,
Oh dear.
and then some player from Blainville, if I can remember, it's 2012. I wasn't there. I was still like
Right.
we just won the cup, and
So then
guy
everybody
from
got suspended, so they called you up for a playoff game.
that was like both goalies out. So it was the third and fourth goalies in, and then because I did I flew did we flew there? I don't remember, but we got to play in Becamo, and it was hostile over there. Like the guys who were suspended couldn't watch the game in the stand. They had to watch it from the room. They had to watch from the dressing room,
Yeah.
the locker room. And our third goalie got cramps and stuff like that. He couldn't goaltend, so they switched him up. We had our fourth goalie in net
And that he
against
can
their third goalie. So it was just madness. I played 2 shifts there. It was a blast.
and goaltending is important.
Oh
You
yeah.
putting your fourth guy in, that's stretching it.
Yeah, but yeah, go have a look at like in 2012, the Drakkar Bécamo versus Blainville Bourbon. Yeah, full on like
That's
brawl.
that's
Everybody.
old school hockey though.
Oh yeah, in
I don't know.
playoffs.
I was never in a bench clearing brawl, but I got into a few line brawls back in junior, and man, those are intense because when you get in a fight and you're not good at it, you at least know that once you've been had, the linesmen are going to come in and help.
Yeah.
In a line brawl, that maybe isn't the case because they're into a different fight,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'll never forget the one line brawl I got into in my hometown in Elmira, and I was out there with my big Mennonite fellas, and um, I could hear a kid on the other team like squealing in pain when my buddy was just beating the wheels off of him. And
Oh yeah. There we had one of our guy who was legit on his back, and then the other guy was full mounted on this guy, and then
full
just like,
mount, yeah.
oh yeah, full mount, like UFC style, and then this guy was just getting punched in the face. Next day he had 2 black eyes and stuff. It was pretty bad. It was pretty
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. Yeah, that might be crossing the line of the code, right? Getting into the full mount and continuing.
Yeah. So yeah, I got called up after that.
Yeah, and you got to play your first game in the queue. That would have been a good day, eh? In
Yeah,
the
I think
playoffs.
1 or 2 shifts, and that was
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah,
you
it's
know how that
that's
goes.
like when I went to the AHL. Yeah, I do
Yeah.
know. It's not very much fun sitting there watching everybody else play hockey.
Yeah.
Yep, I do know. So you spent the next 3.5 years with Blainville. I don't
Yeah.
know where that is.
Just north of Montreal, like 20, 30 minutes of North Shore of Montreal.
Okay. So good barn there, good spot, good setup.
Nice, yeah, with a nice gym in there and stuff like that. But right now it's kind of tough because when I came in, it was like the second year, yeah, the second year of the team, second or third year of the team there. And since then, the Laval Rocket in the A is just like 15 minutes away from there. And if you can choose to go watch some Q kids or
They're
junior
going to
kids or
Laval.
the next like Montreal Canadiens, you might want to for almost the same price and like better show. Like right now, it's kind of tough, I think, for the Armada, but
Hmm.
yeah, hopefully they can still be afloat. But
Yeah, that happens.
tough market.
Yeah, and then it does make sense for like NHL teams to have AHL teams way closer to them, right? Like
Oh yeah, it's super close.
back in the day, man, it made no sense what teams were doing. They'd have an NHL team on like one side of the country and their AHL team would be on the other side of the country. And like if they needed to call someone up, they had to go a long way.
Yeah, yeah, I
Um,
know.
Anywho, your rookie year with Blainville, you scored or played in 18 playoff games. So you guys must have gone
Yeah.
on a run.
Yeah, we did. We went on semifinal and we lost in 7 games. Yeah, but more second round, we were also in 7 games. So that's why kind of
Yeah,
a lot of games,
a
a
lot of
lot of
games.
games.
Game sevens are fun though, aren't they?
Unreal. And like that second round, game 7, we won 8-7 in OT.
A game seven that was 8-7.
Yeah,
That's
we lost.
uncommon.
We were losing 4-0 in the first.
Jeepers.
Oh yeah, that was a
Yeah.
crazy game, and we ended up winning that game.
Well, I like, yeah, the memories I got from game sevens, there's good ones, there's bad ones, but man, every time you're as up for a hockey game as you can be.
Oh yeah, yeah, those are crazy.
Did you play with any players through your 3.5 years in the queue? Like usually there's always some players around. Or I guess 4 years total. The last year you got traded. Trade your ass, probably to get to a contender because it's your last year.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of funny thing because we were 20 years old in that team, and you can only play three. Um, and I knew I was going to be like in that bottom five, like probably not really playing. So it's kind of a bummer. So I was just kind of waiting to be traded, and then at one point, one guy got kicked out the team, two guys got traded, and then our captain, who was a 20, also got Philip Sound. He played in Dundee, now he's in Glasgow, I think. I think he broke his shin, his tibia. So
Ugh,
I was on the only
guy left.
yeah, guy left, and then so I was kind of like making jokes at the trade deadline in the room, stuff like that. 10 minutes later,
Traded.
yeah, you're all bud.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
never
that'd
got
be an honor.
traded in my career, but that must be an interesting day, right? You've spent 3.5 years in a spot, you've kind of grown up there, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, you're moving
Yeah,
out. Grab your
yeah,
shit.
exactly. Yeah, it was kind of home for me too. I'm from Montreal or South Shore of Montreal, so being on the North Shore is super close from home. I could go at my parents like on after a game super easily. Um, and yeah, so getting traded was not so nice, but at the same time, I was kind of happy because we weren't going anywhere that year. But so I was kind of
It,
having a last shot at going
it's
for the cup.
yeah, it's always you always want to have a chance, right? And there are teams that
Yeah,
don't have a chance.
yeah, and then we ended up just choking anyway. So
Sugar and spice. So then that's the end of your Q career. Did you have any pro options at that point, or how do you end up at McGill?
um, no, I didn't really. I think I started my 20 years old, and I was, at that point, I already knew with the seasons I had and stuff like that. I wasn't that big of an offensive guy, or at least the stats weren't showing that. So I was like, I need to figure it out eventually, like, because I was kind of cruising in SAJAP, like you guys, like U12 and first year of college, basically. It's our SAJAP. It's kind of like
Say
an in
Jap?
between. Yeah, it's like an in between like high school and college.
Okay.
For some reason, it's just like a random 2 or 3 years to kind of figure it out there, just like general courses like math and physics and chemistry, stuff like that. So I was kind of like cruising there, not knowing what to do. And then I was like, all right, I gotta figure it out here because I'm not gonna make a lot of money playing hockey probably. So I need to do something else. And then I got approached by a few teams, but right away, as I got connected with Miguel, I was like, well, I'm not dumb. That's the one school I want to go. It's there. So
And
we got it
McGill
done.
is close to home then?
Yeah, it's dead center Montreal. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's right on the mountain. So very close to Montreal, to home. But at that time, we were even closer on the South Shore, so closer to Montreal. So I just decided to first year stay at home, but then my last 5 years I spent all of them in an apartment there in Montreal. Lived the life a little bit.
Well, you have to in university, right?
Oh yeah, it was a good time.
Yes. Western Michigan University was a swell time too.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. So did you guys have any squads while you're at McGill? Were you pretty good? I see you won 2017-18. You had
Yeah,
8 points in 9 playoff games and were named outstanding player in the championship.
yeah, that year was pretty sweet. So that was my second year, kind of like third, fourth liner, but it's Orline was playing pretty much the most minute over in our team. We were
Uh,
kind of like that shutting down line, but at the same time we could score.
yeah.
And then in that because it's a single game, it's like a single game for that cup. Because you play So in college, in Canadian university, you got the Maritimes League, you got
Yeah.
the OUA, so Ontario University Athletics, and then you got the West of Canada. Ontario University Athletics is divided in two leagues, so you got two divisions, East and West.
Yeah.
So the winner of the East play the winner of the West, and it's just one game for the cup. And at that game, I just scored two rip right off the bat, and that kind of made it.
That's
So
awesome. But
yeah,
I
that
I
was a fun
totally get
game.
what you mean by a third line that plays the most minutes, because if you get a good third line that is the shutdown line, but like can can shut down their top players, but also
Hmm.
like outwork them and outcompete them and mix in a couple goals, it changes the whole team, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we were most of the time in the ozone, really. That's
Yeah.
kind of what was happening. So that's how we were shutting guys down. We were just
Yeah.
pretty much in the ozone. So that ended up working.
Yeah, I always found it interesting when people would like when people say guys are bad defensively when they put up like however many points. And it's like, well, how can they be bad defensively if they don't play in their own end? You know?
Yeah, it's either you're cheating a lot and you kind of just hope for
Yeah.
plays. And I had guys like that in teams, but really what we were doing was really just having the puck in the ozone. So
So what's your role with the Storm these days? You third line center?
I'm not sure if we have lines to be fair right now
You
because we
just
have
have
actually like three lines plus one or two depending on like with the imports and stuff like that. But we kind of roll all our
roll three
lines. We
lines
have
and
yeah,
everybody
yeah, that's that
plays.
yeah, exactly. And everybody plays, everybody can play anywhere. So right now it's kind of hard to put a
Right.
really impossible right now to put a number
But
on
you
that.
got power play units, penalty kill guys, and then three lines that roll.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm doing all of that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's when hockey's fun, right? When
Oh
you're
yeah.
involved in everything, and that's what I liked. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
okay, so we talked about McGill. What's the barn like in McGill? Would there be any fans?
Yeah, I mean the more years it got better and better. It's a small barn. So have you seen like Yale University's barn? Or like
No.
to be fair, it kind of looks a little bit like the storm shelter, but
Nice.
lower ceiling and it's like a round ceiling.
Yeah,
So it actually looks like a barn. You look from the outside and it looks like a half green cylinder.
I like it.
Just like tall.
I get a kick out of all these minor hockey barns I go to, man.
Oh, they're
Like
amazing.
every one I go to that's old, I'm just like, oh, this is hockey.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. No, a great arena, great arena, but not like let's say there's probably half the space that in the storm shelter. So it's not a big rink, but it's buzzing in there.
The Chocolatey Storm Shelter. What are your thoughts of the Storm Shelter? I love that place. It's just like the big blue tent back in the day in Cardiff.
I
You wouldn't,
absolutely love it to be fair. It's
yeah,
not big, obviously, but I don't mind those type. I would just hope that the ice would actually be a bit better, but you know.
yeah, yeah, like the
I
actual ice
think
surface. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. 'Cause otherwise I don't really care. I think it's amazing. The atmosphere in there is unreal. I
The
like it.
atmosphere, the chocolate, and what
Hmm.
I always say is hockey's better on small ice, man. There's way more mucking it up. There's way more action. There's way more shit happening. And then you like go to Sheffield, Belfast, Nottingham, and like the ice is so big. It's like you don't even bump into anybody. Like there's no
Yeah.
collisions. There's no bumping and grinding. And like you beat a guy out of the corner, and then you're like, I still gotta go that far, and there's still gonna be another guy my way. It's like I'd rather muck it up.
Nottingham is the biggest ice I've ever seen in my life. That thing is huge.
It's exhausting. And
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of
Belfast
cool.
too,
It
man.
changes the never been yet, but
Oh, gross. We would go to Belfast and have to do a pregame skate. And it's like, so you're telling me on these flow drills, I get the puck here and I got to skate all the way to that end to shoot the goddamn puck? I don't want to do that. Wrister from the blue line, back in line.
oh yeah. Those are big sheets.
Yeah, I don't know. People may think I'm crazy, but I think hockey's more boring on big ice. You know?
Yeah, I think there's like a in between. I think like a sheet like Guildford or even like in Dundee. It's a good size, I
Yeah,
feel like.
yeah. If they could just get
Yeah.
rid of the curling rings on it.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, that thing is
mhm.
one of a kind.
Well, the other guy you played with at McGill, a name that just popped out was you played with the fella from the Oiler, Yamamoto's brother.
Oh yeah, what a guy. Love that kid.
Yeah, was he just a little fast fella too out there, skilled guy?
Yeah, I think Kyler might be a little faster, but yeah, they're same exact like little skilled guy, man. This guy is
Genes are
oh
a thing,
he could
folks.
make oh he could make plays out of nothing. Like oh, magician on the ice with Cramarosa. These two guys are almost like similar. And sometimes, like when I was their center, I had no idea where to be on the ice. I was just like, okay, where am I going now? Like,
As they're just buzzing
I'll,
around.
oh yeah, just like making weird plays together, but it all ends up like legit creating magic out there. But
That's cool.
yeah,
I figured you probably played similar. I mean, it's amazing when you like, especially me on the other side of hockey now, and like I see guys I played with, kids coming up, and you see brothers playing. Like, man, genes really are a thing, and like people play hockey like their dad or like their brother. It's weird.
yeah. I bet they have a pretty good practice squad when they practice together.
Yeah. So then you finish after your 6 years and you've gone 2 seasons without playing a game. You have shoulder surgery. So
Mhm.
then how do you end up with the Wheeling Nailers in your rookie year?
I had to dig up some contacts. My goalie at McGill, Louis Philippe Guindon, another French guy. It's probably my best friend. We did our masters together. He finished a year early though, and he his first year pro played a little bit in Wheeling, a little bit in Fort Wayne, but he absolutely loved it in Wheeling. And when I decided to kind of go pro, I was just trying to see where I could go and stuff. And he was like, "Yeah, that coach there, Derek Army, he's the guy for you. He'll give you a chance. He'll believe in you. You're the type of guy who would play you." And it ended up being just that way, and it was an amazing year for me. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
definitely tough though, because coming back from
a long
man, two
day out.
years of like obviously I practice hard, like I really love training and stuff, but there's a difference between training
A game.
and playing, yeah, especially in the coast. So
Well, and especially in the coast where like I'm guessing you signed an East Coast deal. And like
yeah.
from what I know of the coast is there's a lot of AHL guys that come down, NHL deals that come down, and there's a lot of guys that get signed East Coast deals. Like they'll sign
Yeah.
way more than they need, and they don't plan on keeping very many of them. So that you went
Hmm.
there after not playing and earned your spot and then had a year,
Yeah.
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I only sat down one game too, so I was only scratched one game. So I think he liked me right away. And I was playing really well at the beginning of the season. I was just like I think I had like 3 points though, and I was playing well, but I was no results. I had 3 points in like 20 something games. So it was pretty awful, but I was playing like really good still.
Right.
Which
And
is kind of
good
and I
coaches
didn't
see that, right? Good coaches know that
yeah.
it's not about points, it's about how you play.
Yeah, and I was really effective still. It's just like I think I had like the most posts in history that year anyway. But and then the second half, like right at Christmas, took a little bit of time off, came back, and it was lights out. And then I was like not a point per game, but I was close to a point per game after Christmas. So
Well, it
um
does take some adjusting though. Like when I got sent down from the HL to the coast and I thought I was going to go down there and just have my way with it. And then like first four
mhm.
games I had nothing. And I was like, "Oh dear." And then all of a sudden your stats don't look very good and it's not an easy league to put up numbers in.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of great players in that league. It's a tough league like physically, but also like really greedy guys and then really skilled guys also. And then it's a fast game. So
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking it was going to be easy, but definitely took me a little bit of time to get adjusted with my shoulder. At one point, I remember telling my girlfriend, I was like, yeah, after like a month or two, and I was like, yeah, I just accepted that my shoulder probably is going to come out again. Like, I think I'm just going to go until it comes out. And then eventually it just never came out. It stayed well right in, but I think it was so sore from the, like, because usually it's about like 6 months of recovery after surgery. And I was in August, I was at 6.5 months. So
Right.
like in September, I was just like barely okay to play. So it was a quick
When it's
like
in your mind too, right? Then when you play, like I always remember coming back from injuries, the first couple times you're coming back, you're nervous. Like you're nervous something's going to happen again because you
yeah.
just want to play, you just want to feel right. And then
Hmm.
when you play a little timid that something might go wrong, like just that little bit, right, can change things. And then once you realize you're good and you're comfortable and confident that you're not hurt anymore and you're better is
Yeah,
when you start doing it,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Because like, you know, 6 months recovery, a full surgery, like, it's still like an important injury that I had. So it's like I'm still thinking about it. I'm like, is it worth it? Like, am I gonna end up in a hospital again and stuff like that? Like, I know a lot of guys who had like two, three, and four surgeries, just like hip, knees, stuff like that, and just re-injure it again. And
And then yeah, and then they're
so you
toast.
kind of think
Yeah.
oh yeah, especially in that league, you gotta be careful. Otherwise, some guys just gonna take it out. But yeah, I
Yeah.
ended up working, but took a little bit before getting going for real.
Well, so then that fight with the big fella, that was probably later in the year when you're a little more confident with your shoulder.
That was I think it was before Christmas, so no, not really. Our
You
guy got
saw
or
black and you went at her.
I mean, because our guy got absolutely murdered in front of me, like just like
Right.
full on get destroyed, and I
And
just
then here
happened
we
to be
go.
right there.
Yeah, I
And
understand.
and then he's just like he's 6'6", 250, and I'm 5'11", like 180.
Hmm.
So they both kind of went down, and I didn't really know it was that guy. And obviously I know him, can't really miss him. So, but then he just like, as he was getting up, I just cross check him in the back, and then he just like grew up and like Megatron or whatever, and he's just like in front of me like this, and I'm like, all right, it's going.
Here we
So
go.
I kind of, yeah, I didn't really have a choice, and I was like, my God, this is a bad idea, but then ended up working. But
Mm.
probably it was my day of being lucky, and I took
Well,
it.
it sounded like you were ready to do it. My second last game of professional hockey ever was in Cardiff in the Big Blue Tent, which is just like the storm shelter. And my boy, Carl Hudson, was skating it up on the power play right in front of me. And he's coming along the wall, and this douche on the other team literally comes across the D man and he went down and slid on his knees like slid on his knees and took my buddy's legs right out. I didn't know if his legs were broken. He did like a full flip in the air, and I was right behind waiting for the drop pass. So then it's like, well, I'm not the fighter, but you can't do that. So then I went right up to him, and the guy cross checks me, and I was like, well, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. And you're like, okay, now you got to go because he actually wants to kill you. So
Yeah, you better
you got
be
to
ready
go.
to go too.
Oh yeah.
I hung in there though. I hung in there, you know?
Of course you did. Yeah.
Yeah. Took a couple in the top of the head, and I did my thing where I try to put my head in their armpit
Hmm.
because I'm so
Yep.
little, and then just go for the big haymaker.
Yep. We
Just
all
missed
did
with
it.
it too. Just missed. Punk. Yeah. But when guys act like punks, they got to get fought, right?
Yep.
That's what
Have
happens.
to.
So how were the bus trips in the coast?
Oh my God. Don't get me started. I was probably the oldest rookie in the league as well.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
at 20, 27, 28, but still had to sleep on the ground or at least find one of those bunks if we had one.
But
Because
the vets always take those before the rookies, eh?
yeah, obviously.
Hmm.
And then it's just credit cards and a hat, and then if you get lucky. But then by the end of the year, I was like, all right, Jeff, sort me out here. And he was just like taking my card right on the hat first one. So I
Nice.
kind of sweet talked him by the end. I was like,
I
help
also
a
was
guy
an
out.
older coast rookie after 4 years at Western Michigan, and
Yeah.
yeah, I also tried to get a bunk any way I could. We had
Did it
like
work?
a room at the yeah, it did. We had a room at the back that was like a pig pen that like all the rookies
Pretty
had to go
much.
in, and there's like everybody just sleeping on the floor farting, and
Hmm.
oh, it's disgusting.
That's
And then
disgusting.
everybody else is in bunks, right? And you're like, look at these assholes, they all did their own little TV, and the
Oh
rookies are in
yeah.
the back just mucking it up.
Oh yeah. Oh, what a time. No, some road trips were tough. So the one in Iowa was the worst because I think like we left every time we went there, it was like two or three times we go there. We leave at like 11 or 12 at night, and then we sleep in that bus, and then you just get out of there like you think you're on Mars
Yeah.
when you get up because you're taking some sleeping pills to try to help you with like the the movement on the bus and stuff like that. You just wake up and your back hurts, everything hurts. It stinks in there. And
Mhm.
then you finally wake up and then you go to lunch and you're just like, wow. And then you got practice and then it's like next day you play, you're like, okay, well, Try to get
I
a good night of sleep. Otherwise, you're just like miserable out there.
I just had a memory come back of the Wheeling barn was we had a sleeper bus with Dayton, Ohio, the Daytona Beach Bombers of Ohio, and we show up in Wheeling, and you're all just sleeping in your stall thing, and
Mhm.
everybody gets up, gets out, grabs their bag, goes in, and then like we had all done the two touch and warmed up and everything, and everybody's like, "Where's Lane Matson? Where's like our big 6'9" guy?" Like he was still sleeping on the bus.
Oh my.
Because you just don't know, right? You get on there and you start sleeping, and then you
Oh yeah.
just wake up and get out and play a hockey game, and then back on the bus. And it's like those sleeper buses are cool for sleeping, but you can't actually like hang out, play cards, or do anything.
No, no, you can't. And if they do, they take the whole. Who do you think is paying for that? Because we can't lay down the rookies, so they're all playing in the rookies area.
In
So
the
this is the
rookie
rookies.
room, in the pig pen.
So now, oh yeah. Um.
Uh,
So yeah, no. Sometimes people think that uh we're living the high life on the coast and stuff like that. Oh yeah, you play pro hockey. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not that high of a life.
no, yeah,
We're
that's what I
grinding.
thought was right. You grow up as a kid wanting to be a pro hockey player your whole life, and then when
Yeah.
you actually get there, and you're like, so this is what it is.
Oh yeah. It's when you actually know what it is, you're like, okay, there might be something better elsewhere,
And
and
then
there is.
so after that season, actually, I got one more thing here. Is on that squad, a name that stuck out to me was Peter Laviolette. So I clicked on the name,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's actually this. He has the same name as his dad.
Oh yeah, Big Pete. Don't tell him I called him Big Pete. Um, yeah, I saw him a few times, yeah, but yeah, no, Lav's a great guy. Went hunting with him actually.
I
This is the
find it
perks of being
interesting
in
that he
Wheeling.
named his son the same name as him. Like, is he
Yeah, he's the
Peter
third now.
Jr.? Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
so
he's the
it's
third.
I gotcha. Peter the
So
third.
yeah, so yeah, the coach is Peter Jr. So
Right, the second.
yeah, the second.
So anyways, though, the coast is an interesting thing. I don't know what it's like in
Oh yeah.
Wheeling, but like the college season ends, all of a sudden there's NCAA guys coming or Canadian university guys coming. There's trades, there's up and there's down, and it's like for me growing up in a small town where your team's your team, and then I go to Western Michigan and our team's our team, you're there for 4 years. And then
Hmm.
that's how hockey's always been to me. A team's a team. You're with your brothers, you're in it together. And then you get to pro, and it's just not that way.
Oh yeah, you're just a pawn, and that's really what you are, really. Still
You're just
gonna,
a player that can play,
yeah,
and you're
yeah,
like,
exactly. But you know what? In Wheeling, Arms, our coach, did an awesome job making us feel more like just that.
yeah,
And he played like so many years. He played in the A, played in the coast. And he was captain in Wheeling. I think he's 32 now, 32, 33. A little bit like Ginner, so
yeah.
like young coach, but still wanted a team that was tight together and stuff. So even though we had a special team, even though we had like a bunch of left and right,
Yeah. You
guys
have the
going.
ups and
So
downs and the people coming in and out, but you need that good core of a team. And
yeah,
we had the same thing in Dayton. You had your normal guys that were there every night, and then you just filter in and out the
yeah.
fluff. The
There was a lot
fluff.
of movement. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes like, half the team's not there really,
Mhm.
but you figure it out.
That's actually when my recruiting career started was when I was in the coast with Dayton. They made the mistake of calling me up to the AHL at the end of the season, and I used that as a recruiting trip for my East Coast playoffs. And I convinced Philippe Dupuis to come back and play at the coast. He'd only played like a handful of games for us in the regular season, so he was eligible. And like he was a full-time AHL guy, and somehow I got chatting with him and telling him about the team we had, and he made the choice to, which doesn't always look good on a resume, to play the playoffs in the coast when he's a full-time AHL guy. And he did that for our team, for me when I I asked him politely. And like he came down and he did change our team. He gave us that extra centerman that was high end and gave us two more like balance lines, and then we did go to the finals. And then you see that guy end up making the show and playing quite a bit with Colorado and Toronto. And I mean, that's wicked when a good dude like that makes it, you know?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hmm
Yeah, that's good.
Anywho, so then after that season, you do decide to head to Manchester. How'd you get there?
I was kind of like already after around Christmas in Wheeling, I was like, okay, let's try to figure out what we're gonna do here in life. Um, Existential crisis again. So do I go work? Do I just quit hockey? Do I keep playing? Do I go back to school again? So I was like, you know what? The dream was for me to obviously it died pretty early in my career to not play in the NHL. So I was like, okay, I want to go in Europe. I want to travel.
Yeah.
I want to see the life out there because when I'm gonna have a job and a family and kids, the opportunity is less and less probable to do
Sure
that.
is. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I was like, yeah, let's go, just go do that. And I was reaching out to agents, and I ended up being connected with Chris Bailey, my agent here. Works for the team and talk highly of Manchester, talk about other teams as well, but he ended up really being Manchester. So yeah, with my girlfriend's here too. So Manchester is like the best kind of like in between of competition and like great city and just like lifestyle overall. And the whole situation was just seemed perfect for me to be here. So
That's
I
awesome.
signed pretty quick. I was really sure about myself, and I was like, let's do it. First year, let's go.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And it looks like it started out pretty darn good for you. Eh? I think I had it written
Yeah,
down.
not
You had
bad.
6 points in 9 games or something.
Yeah, not bad. Just unfortunate. I got injured a little bit to my wrist. Still is, but going through it a little bit. But yeah,
But
hopefully
is
can
it
put some
it's
more on.
playable though?
Yeah, playable. It's very, very annoying because I kind of keep tweaking it and I just lose all my strength in it every game pretty much. So
I
it's one of
totally
those
get
where
that.
I just hope that eventually it was getting really better. Like I was almost like pain free, and then last game actually against Belfast, I popped it really good, and then now I kind of back like
Mm.
maybe 2 3 weeks back. So we'll see.
Um,
It's
well,
one of those.
I had I had wrist problems like my whole career. It
Mm,
would always be on the right outside, and there were times where I was getting like my hand frozen and whatnot. But one thing I realized was a lot of it was tendonitis in my forearm from all the stick handling and shooting, and getting my forearm massaged like deep. I could feel
yeah,
it all the way to my fingers, and that actually helped. I don't know what you got going
yeah,
on, but just thinking out loud.
yeah, yeah. No, we're right on that.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I see you wear number 8 last year and this year. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, a little bit. I was wearing number 18
Yeah, you were.
because it was just the one available in college.
Don't say that.
I think
18
our
is
number
important to
we
me.
yeah, yeah, see that. And I wanted it again, but then at the same time I was like my first year pro, my dad told me his number when he was playing when he was young. He didn't play like in any good league, but his number was number 8. So I was like, you know what, I'll have number 8 because in
Yeah.
Wheeling I think somebody had it. So my second choice was number 8. So I ended up having that number, and I just decided to keep it for this year. Yeah.
Well, that's cool that you wear the old man's number. My kid won't do it.
Yeah.
Won't even look at him. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little bit more picky maybe with numbers before. Now I don't care as
Yeah.
much, but
I hear you. Well, and some teams you can get the number you want, some teams you can't. You may as well move on and
yeah.
wear it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But what I find of the UK league is there's not much in and out with teams. The team you sign is the team you have, and it's a team again. And it's like we got to figure this out together, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's again throwback to like college and stuff, but no, it's great so far. I think Ginner and Finner really built a nice team for us.
Yeah,
Everybody gets along, and we really have a good group. So that's
shed guys
heard
they
some.
call them.
Yep, yep. So shed guys are doing good. Good team
That's cool.
chemistry. It helps with everything to be fair, because had teams before where there's a few bad apples, and it makes everything so much more difficult, and you don't want to stay more. You don't want to put on some extra time and stuff like that. And this year it's a pretty special group. It's fun.
That's it. Yeah, that hits home with me. Was like I was on a couple teams where things didn't gel. And then I was on teams that were just so special that, like you said, everybody gets along, everybody's in it together. It's not about
Hmm.
who scores the goals and gets the assists. It's about who wins and loses the game.
Oh
And
yeah.
when a team is like that, it's amazing how much better you can play. And then when you do have a few guys that like you can tell they care about their goals and assists. It's like you could win a game 4-1 and you see the loser sitting there in the room like pouting because he didn't get any points. And you're like, get out of my face.
Yeah, yeah. But you can see like just our record right now, I think we're third in the league. Obviously, it's still like not everybody has the same number of games and stuff, but we have the least goals scored, I think, in the league, but we're still like third. So you can see like we don't have any superstars, but everybody's like pulling through. And
Yeah.
like I said, like our three lines are going, three lines plus our other guys that are there. So it's like everybody's doing their work, everybody's pushing, and then our goalie's great, and
Yeah. Takes
everybody's
everybody to
pushing
win, right?
too. Oh yeah, and that's what we have right now. We have a good group. It's
And
fun.
then the backup goalie, the O Dog, um,
Alex.
yeah, he got in the game there in Nottingham, and I saw some wild save. Guy dekes to the backhand, and that little punk 18-year-old just made a huge glove save, eh?
Yeah, I know. He had a few like that. I think he has like two or three that game like that. Yeah,
That's
did great.
wicked. Good for him.
Yeah. And then we got our third goalie, Lou, a big Lou, we call him. He's he works, that's what he does. And once in a while he's there in practice and just, played the last 10 minutes of that game. That was awesome to see.
Oh, he got in the net too then.
Yeah, yeah, that was awesome. He's just there for a good time and he was so stressed. It was funny.
Okay, I only got a couple more questions and I'm gonna let you carry on with your day. Got any weird pregame rituals or routines?
I'll be boring, but no,
Nothing, eh?
I'm not a superstitious guy, so I guess it's maybe different, but I just
You at
eat
least
good
nap,
food.
right?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah,
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 you
I have
gotta
to.
nap. You're a professional hockey player, right? The
I nap every
psychopaths that
day,
don't
not
nap.
gonna lie.
You nap every day. I miss napping every day. I don't really ever get to nap. Sometimes I get to take droolers. That's where you just fall asleep till you start to drool and then you get back at it. I,
Yeah.
I I don't recall the last time I like got in a bed and like really did a nap. I don't even think I could anymore.
Oh, I can nap anywhere really. I can like snooze for 5, 10 or just like 30, 45. Anywhere, anytime. I can just like lay here and yeah, I'm gone.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I mean back like game days when you could crush like a 2 hour nap, right? And then like I would like eat myself into a food coma around noon and then
Oh yeah.
have a 2 hour nap and then you wake up, you know, big dumping of
You're
coffee, go play some hockey.
yeah, that's how it goes.
Well, what else do I got? The only other thing I got is you guys got a nice team bus, eh? The Greggy bus. He's
The
quite the
Greggy boss.
character, isn't he?
Hell yeah, Greg. Man, what a dude. He's got the hot dogs ready in the bus on the way back every day. Well, not every day,
Wicked.
but every road trip. Those are phenomenal, by the way.
Is that right?
Oh yeah. Imagine
Um,
that. You just finish a hard fought game. You're on the way back and you just got a nice like a jumbo glizzy waiting for you.
yeah, that is awesome. Good for
Oh
him. It
yeah.
takes everybody to win, and when you know you got that after, you got to earn it,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah. We've got a nice
And
bus too. That bus is sick.
just because a couple people mentioned, I should let people know that this hasn't really been done yet, and we want it to happen this weekend in Scotland. Bring your chocolate, Manchester fans, right? We're bringing the chocolate
Ooh.
on the road, and if they get mad at you for throwing chocolate on the ice after a game, well, what are they going to do? Ask you to kindly leave? The game's over, right?
I love that.
Right?
Oh
So
yeah.
if any Manchester Storm fans are listening and are heading to Scotland, don't forget to pack your chocolate, right? And
Oh yeah.
this guy here would like some caramel, right?
Yeah. I'll definitely take caramel stuff, yeah.
Yeah. You don't really care, eh? You just want
No,
to eat chocolate,
I
right? You
just
just want to
enjoy
earn
it,
it.
Oh yeah.
That's like what
That's what
Craig
it
said.
is.
That's how it all started. I'm like, what do you want? Can we get something started in Manchester? He's like, I don't care. I just want a storm of chocolate for everybody. And now look at us, right?
Man, it's amazing.
It is amazing.
I think that's the best end of game tradition that I've seen.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. We thought about but
Not
it did
bad.
start elsewhere. We did start it in Cardiff with the goalie throwing Twix, and then we had Buenos for the boys when I was coaching under 11. It was back when there's no fans, and then the first game the fans were allowed back. I had a couple weeks to get her going, and I had my young fellas on the pod, and they wanted Buenos. And man, the first game the fans were back in Cardiff, I'm telling you, there was Buenos and Twix everywhere. It was awesome. Talk about life memories from talking in your shed, you know?
It's amazing.
I don't think this thing in Manchester's slowing down anytime soon.
Oh no, like people are mad actually. Like my girlfriend is like on the fan page, and I think like at one point earlier in the year we weren't winning.
And
We
they just
like
want to
I
throw
had
their
the
gosh
like a,
darn
oh
chocolate,
yeah, we
right?
had like 3 or 4 losses in a row, and they were just like, all right, like I just want to throw my chocolate out there. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, we'll get there. We're at
want it.
preseason.
Don't
Preseason,
worry, we want it as well.
right? It's like preseason. I don't know if that's chocolate time. We don't need to win those games. Let's worry about the real games, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, like the video, like it's weird for me because I never really paid attention to who won or lost any games anywhere. I just talked to my friends and I would be setting up chats, not really paying attention to who wins. But like now, when you guys are playing at home, like I know, and I'm checking the score to see like, is it going to be a storm today? And then as soon as I see the score, and it's like you guys just beat Belfast, and I'm like, game on. And then
Oh yeah.
within 10 minutes, I'm getting sent videos of chocolate flying from every orifice of the arena.
Yeah, and now like that chocolate isn't just for me. Like my girlfriend Tris is always asking me like, "Hey, bring me." She's texting me. The game's not even over. She's in the stand like, "Bring me back some chocolate."
Yeah. So then, and then does she have a favorite?
She'll eat anything.
She doesn't say like, bring me back this kind, because I bet you we could
No,
get it
just
for her.
no.
Oh,
She just wants some chocolate. You know
yeah.
how it is.
That's what everybody wants in Manchester, right? We just
Yeah,
gotta earn it, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I don't know
Well, I do
anything
all the
else.
hard work, and then she's just like, "Yeah, bring me some." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, takes everybody to win, right? It
Oh
takes
yeah.
the girlfriends and wives and kids to be happy too. Do you guys have any kids on your team? Anybody got any kids?
Yeah, we do. Andreas is a kid.
Yeah, and he's coming on.
Newborn still. Yeah, newborn
Newborn.
still.
Oh, so he's not into the
Yep.
chocolate. The kid's not into the chocolate yet, eh? It would be cool
No,
to
not
get
yet.
the kid whatever he wanted, right?
And then well Dallas
Earhart.
West is giving birth, yeah, soon.
Ah.
I think like
Um,
4 weeks now, something like that.
so and Cardiff brought like they obviously probably some of the fans and people probably aren't that thrilled that like I sponsored the Manchester Storm and like I have all this fun happening. But it's weird for me because you guys remind me of the 2014 Devils. At that point, me and Richie, their captain now, we were the only ones with kids on the team, and we were a lower budget team. We played in the storm shelter, the big blue tent, and hockey was fun. We went on a heater. We had a lot of fun that season, and then we win a Challenge Cup. We almost win the league. We lost by 2 points. And you guys remind me of us, and I think it's neat. And it's like you guys are in third place, but I bet you don't have the third place budget in the league.
Oh no.
No,
I keep hearing about the bigger budget, and I'm like, well, I mean, we're just doing our thing here.
exactly. And hockey, anybody can beat anybody. It doesn't matter how much you get paid; it's how much you want it.
Oh yeah, exactly. We showed
Mhm.
it against Belfast last game, so
And Cardiff, don't worry. You're still my squad. I'm never going to forget what you guys have done for me. You see it in the back there. Rah Rah's 18 November. And they did have me back for a night that inspired the whole shed, inspired me to get back into hockey and be that guy. And I will never forget. I'm just having fun, right? But seriously, go get them this weekend in Scotland. And folks, if you're listening, bring your gosh darn chocolate, right? Because the fellas are going to run amok. And now we're going to make it rain in Scotland, and then I'm going to laugh,
oh yeah.
right? Go Shed,
Yeah,
guys.
let's go.
And this has been another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Sammy and Wally.